janefinch.com.
My name's Mike Molloy. I'm a retired Canadian Foreign Service officer, and I worked for 2 or 3 years on the Indochinese refugee program way back in 1975 to 1980. During that time, we moved 70,000 people to Canada, and subsequently a total of 210,000 when the program had finally ended in 1997. I'm part of a project called Hearts of Freedom, which was initiated by the Vietnamese Canadian Federation, who asked us to do some things to help people record their memories. Many of the people who arrived are getting older, and if the memories aren't recorded, the stories, the incredible stories of how they survived the war, the retribution of the communists, the terrible risks they took escaping, not to mention the problems of adapting to Canada, different weather, different food, different all sorts of things. So we undertook the project, and we collected a total of 173 90-minute interviews, which are on our website. 145 of them are interviews with Vietnamese, Laotian, and Cambodian Canadians who came to this country as refugees. This was the largest single refugee movement to Canada, and it took place at a time when this was an all-white country, when multiculturalism was a brand new idea. And the amazing thing was, when the government of Joe Clark said, we want to take initially 50,000 people, but we need private people to sponsor them, we received sponsorships from over 7,000 groups of Canadians. And so for many Canadians, the arrival of the Vietnamese, Laotian, and Cambodian refugees was the first time multiculturalism was real, because they were living it with these people who were trying to figure out how to adapt. And Canada is a country of immigrants. My own family came from Ireland and England at the beginning of the last century. Most people in this country, except for our indigenous people, have maybe been here a century or two, but I think I'm more typical. The Molloys have been in this country 125 years, and that's not a long time. So we're all newcomers, and we all have to welcome newcomers. And I think what makes Canada different from so many other countries is that we welcome the change from a white, British-based country into a multicultural, pluralistic society where people who arrive with nothing, if they work hard and they apply themselves and they have a bit of luck, can build great futures for themselves and for their families. So that's why the book that we've just released today, called Hearts of Freedom, brings together those stories and tells of the differing experiences of the Vietnamese who arrived right after the fall of Saigon, the boat people who followed, the Laotians, 10% of whom escaped across the Mekong River, and the Cambodians who, as we know, survived one of the most terrible genocides in modern history. And the book covers that, but it also covers the challenge of coming to a country where the food was different, where the weather was different, where the organization of society was different, and in many cases arriving with no English or no French and trying to make your way. And the great thing about the story is, if you look at those communities now, 50 years later, they are among the most highly advanced and highly qualified communities in Canada. So anybody can make it if they get a lucky break, and for many people, Canada is that lucky break. Thank you very much.